Hey guys, welcome to Approach the Nerd. We are here with our Motherland Fort Salem Season 3, Episode 1 review. I still cannot get over the fact that this is the last season. Disclaimer, I still am getting over COVID. I've had it this is day 11 now. So if I go into like some kind of coughing fit or whatever, just kind of bear with me. Doing the best I can. Also, let me know if the audio sounds weird because I do have a desk fan on really close to my microphone. So just let me know if I'm like in or out. All right. So, Motherland Fort Salem. So, if you remember the end of season 2, after Penelope basically has to be destroyed because, of course, the evil black goo of doom, that's what I call it, is inside of her. So the black plague is inside of her, basically. And she's getting ready to take out everyone in Fort Salem. And Abigail, and Raelle have to combine their powers. I believe Tally had a little bit of help with that. I did a little bit with that too. But they ended up destroying her, like blowing her up. And you do remember that her father is the reason that she was even infected in the first place, which makes Penelope a very sad character because she was completely expendable, according to her father. So the girls had to go on the run because her father basically is part of the Camarera and basically said, I don't want, my daughter to be a witch. I don't want to have any, I guess it's generational. So he didn't want anything to do with witches. And so he lied and said that they brutally murdered his child, even though he's the one that infected her in the first place. So fast forward, now we're starting out with the girls basically somewhere in the Midwest. They're living with Dodgers, which is interesting. We get introduced to a new character. His name is Mac. And I actually like Mac. Mac is a very cool guy. He's one of Scylla's old friends, which I'm kind of on the fence about. And anybody who knows me knows a few things. Number one, you guys know that I'm queer. So when I say this is not coming from a homophobic place, and you know that I am all about having your favorite ships and all that. And I also think that as a couple, Rayla is a cute couple. And I do think that Amalia Holmes is adorable and Taylor's adorable. There's no hate to that. No hate to the actresses. I have a big problem with Elliot's writing for Scylla, because if we're redeeming Scylla, and I keep saying this, I need there to be an absolute understanding of how bad the stuff she did was. Because, and I'm only saying this because we have a little bit of that in this episode, but Scylla killed 1,601 people. And you're going to have people that are huge Rayla fans. They're going to be upset about what I'm saying because some of the fandom is really nice and some of them are pretty much toxic as fuck. So I'm just going to put it out there. It's like every other fandom, you're going to have toxic people that are very willing to excuse anything, no matter how bad it is, because it's your favorite ship and they're a cute couple or they're queer and we don't have representation and blah, blah, blah. And I get some of those points, but I have to put it out there, especially when you watch the news and you see people shooting up elementary schools. Those are terrorist attacks. Scylla was a terrorist. No matter what the cause, how you feel about it, what side, she was a terrorist. And she looked a little girl in the eye, like literally that, like the same girl that, like, if you look at Tiffany and you look at the little girl at the pilot episode of this series, she looked at this little girl, and before she made them march to their death, drop to their death, she did not get rid of the little girl. She did not make it so the little girl would run away. The little girl also died. That is not okay. And I don't know if Raelle even to this date knows about the 16. She knows about Porter, which is also kind of effed up, but she doesn't know about that. She knows that Scylla is free, but I don't know if Raelle ever was told that she was the one that made 1,600 people leap to their deaths. That is my problem with this. It's why I have a huge issue with the shipping, because Scylla's redemption only happens because of Raelle. But I mean, it's because of love. It's because you're doing something for your boo. It's not because you feel guilty about making 1,600 people die. I'm just putting it out there, guys. I have not seen enough of her redemption for my taste. And that's me. No one's going to change my mind. It is what it is. From a writing standpoint, I feel like this universe, the morals are very gray. So in real life, if this had happened and she had walked into like a big auditorium and just opened fire on 1,600 people and killed them, would we still be shipping her with Raelle? That's all I'm asking. That's all I'm asking. So I have to put that out there because logic goes out the window with ships. It's just what it is. All right. So the girls are kind of at this place in the Midwest. It's going to be like a working hideout type distribution center where all they do is basically mess with paper. They ship paper, they pack paper, they're a paper facility. And it's actually kind of cool. I thought it was neat that Matt came up with a way of starting a business and having a successful business that actually probably doesn't even have a legal license, that is full of shit. It's all a cover for Dodgers, which I think is really neat. I do. I think it's also interesting that his business may be more successful than some of the legit businesses in the Midwest. So you got to give him props for that. And he was willing to take in the girls, even though their faces are plastered all over the news. And because of, especially with Abigail, her complete disdain for the spree and their works, she refuses to change her face. And none of the others are changing their faces either. Even Scylla is not changing her face. But to be fair, Scylla's not on the wanted poster. But yeah, it's interesting that there's a whole moral compass above should we or should we not, work with the spree works, because that's something that they used to fight. So I get it. It's definitely a moral dilemma. At the same time, I mean, the girls are just really crap at hiding. I mean, they're just really bad. Like, because they're not changing their faces, you think they would be even more on the down low. But Abigail, she was not supposed to contact her mother because it's dangerous. They could trace it back to the Dodgers, and then all of them are like compromised. But of course, in the episode, her and Adil go to a payphone, and they basically try to use, said payphone. And I don't even know why they did this. I'm be real with you. I don't know why. Like, I don't know whose idea this was to just like sneak out and do this. I mean, it probably was Abigail. I'll be real with you. It probably was Abigail. But I mean, the fact that, they go out, and the moment they go out and she has a 1 second like conversation with her mom, a cop sees her, and he's got this really weird device that like he's able to scan for witch or works basically to see if you're a witch. And I think that is an interesting concept. Like, we're getting new tech this season. Like, there are a few things that happen in this episode that's just like new for me. And I'm like, I'm here for it because it does add a lot more drama and a lot more suspense to the series. But like, yeah, I was like, this guy, and there's a rally going on, and this cop was during the rally. It's a Not Our Daughter's rally. And he's just like, everybody that walks up to him, he's like scanning them. And Adil like is walking towards him, which I thought was really stupid. And like, the guy says, look at him. He turns around really quickly. That's suspicious as hell. That is suspicious as hell. So yeah, that wasn't their brightest moment. If you're on the download. But to be fair, I'm playing devil's advocate. Yes, it was very stupid for Adil and for Abigail to go out and try and call, Petra. But also, you're talking about somebody who is used to hiding. So Adil doesn't really have an excuse but then again, he kind of does, because he's not used to being around people in the first place. The Trim they didn't do all that. They hid very well and stayed out of everybody's way. But Abigail never had to hide. She's a bellwether, she's out in the open. She's like, this is not her life. So of course, her conforming to being a Dodger is going to be hard. She didn't know what the hell she's doing. And then we have Nicte is training with, and this is really interesting for me, Tally. Tally wants to get her powers like, more honed. She wants to advance because the girl's got some really kick-ass, abilities in terms of visions and things like that. And she wants to hone them in and be able to fight and be more effective like Nicte. And I also feel like there's like something going on between these two. This could be because I'm queer. I'm not trying to make everybody gay. But I mean, they do seem to write Tally in these situations, like even with Alder last season, where it seems like she probably swings both ways. And in this world, it probably isn't a big concept or a problem anyway, because honestly, I think anybody would sleep with anybody at any time, except for Rael, who obviously has a disdain for men. But I feel like there was definitely some chemistry between Nicte and Tally. And what was so interesting is that it was actually happening between the original actress that we know of, the original face of Nicte, and of course the woman that she was pretending to be. So I don't know. I'm here for it if it happens, and I do love the fact that everybody's paired off. We have, of course, Raelle and Scylla. We've got Adil and Abigail, and then Tally's just kind of sitting here like, way to make a girl feel single, So I don't know. I just feel like there's some foreboding there. I feel like they may actually at some point get together. I don't know why. I just feel like that could happen. It's the last season too. So they went in knowing it was going to be the last season. So they probably had a lot of plans for Tally. So I don't know. We'll see what that happens. But I love that Nicte is like, Alder is dead. So she technically got her revenge, but she's still very angry. And so, Tally's like, do you feel better? She's like, do I look like I feel better? Does it look like I'm over it? So I'm very curious because we did see in the end of the last season that Alder was not dead. Her eyes opened. And then we saw at this, in this episode, at the very end, there's like a sheep herder or whatever using work, very pretty work. And just, doing this hymn, and she comes out of the ground like mushroom. Now I have a creepy crawly sensation problem. So when I saw that, like the little mushroom stuff in her hand, it made me itch, but she looked gorgeous. She was channeling her inner Poison Ivy from the DC comic universe. So I was here for it. And she's like, don't stop on my account. So since Alder is back, I'm assuming she's reborn by our mother mushroom. That's what I call her too. She may have some extra abilities because she did essentially die. So I want to know what being a representative or being reborn by Mama Mushroom, which everyone believes now is the source of the witch's powers, which we'll get to in a second. What does this mean for Alder? Is she even more badass? Because she was already badass. But what does this mean for her? And then what does this mean for Nicte? I am waiting for a huge, even though they should be fighting on the same side, a huge blowout between Alder and Nicte. So I don't know. I'm here for it. I'm here for it. I don't know where they're going for it. But speaking of, side note, this episode opened up like 100 and something thousand years ago, where I'm assuming there's a group of women. I'm assuming this is the very beginning of either the witch line or the Tarim or whatever, but it was like they were discovering mother tongue. Like they were practicing the work, and it's like they'd never done it before. It was like they're the first time all coming together and harmonizing and creating this big storm. That's what it looked like to me. Now it may be explained, and I think it used to be called After the Storm. They used to play them after the episode airs. But as I told you guys last season, it doesn't air here for me. I live in Memphis, Tennessee, the Bible Belt. So the damn 700 Club comes on as soon as the episode goes off, which is so weird to me. So we don't get After the Storm. And I did check Motherland and Fort Salem's YouTube channel, and I didn't see it posted. So it could be somewhere else. But I don't know if Elliot basically explained the opening scene, like who these women actually were hundreds of thousands of years ago. But for me, I just felt like if I was going to have a theory, they are the first witches. They are the first either witches in Tarim, or they are the first women who came together and realized that they could harmonize and do the works. I don't know. That's just my theory. I do know that we're supposed to be getting more historical, information on how mother tongue works, how, basically the basis of witchcraft, since everyone thinks Mama Mushroom is the source. So I don't know, but I was a really beautiful scene. I just really wish I had more context or, exposition on what was actually happening. So there's that. So we got to see Anacostia, and Anacostia is still with her boo. I forgot his name, but he's basically an aide for the White House, and it's very interesting. Like he's kind of like the inside man now, which is, it's appropriate. He's he's a witch. So, he's not going to be somebody who's going to be on the side of the Camarera or anybody else. So, but I just think it's interesting that, they communicate telepathically, and he literally is her eyes and ears on the inside, which I'm here for. But anytime I see Anacostia, I get excited because that means shit's getting done and stuff is going to happen. And she's got apparently her wards she put around are basically being blocked. So she's trying to get she's going on the offensive and trying to get more information. She's reporting back to Petra, but Petra is very distracted because, of course, Abigail is missing. She's a wanted, criminal, but she still is the general for Fort Salem. So she has to put on the appearance of, hey, yeah, I have to follow the law, and this is the law. But at the same time, she's aiding and abetting. So it's like she's very distracted, and she doesn't know what's going on with Abigail. So she's worried, and she's a mama. So I get it. And Anacostia is kind of the one that's out there doing, what needs to be done. And she recruits M, and they are a very cool character. And apparently M has been having a lot of issues because after the attack on Fort Salem, I think a lot of their companions and friends were killed or injured or whatever. And so M has not really been in a good place. And so Anacostia says, hey, you have a skill with infiltration. So M gets recruited to basically join the cause. Now, I don't know how transparent they were. Like, I don't know if they were just like, okay, this is what's going on. We're going to tell you what you need to know on a need to know basis, kind of like I do in the military in real life. But she basically has go into like this event system and listen in on like this huge gathering or meeting between Vice President Silver and Birch. And basically she overhears them saying that they believe that Mama Mushroom, which is buried underneath Fort Salem, is the root of all evil and the source of all the witches' powers. And they take that out. They basically are destroying all witches. So they're making are doing approvals to drill into underneath the base, I guess, to try and get to Mama Mushroom, which is bad, especially since I don't think Mama Mushroom's going down. So she's not going to stand for that. So that's going to be interesting when it starts. But yeah, they definitely, plans are definitely moving forward. Now within the group though, and I completely forgot the guy's name. It just went out of my head. The one that was torturing Royale in season 2. He seems to be kind of like the laughing stock or the one to make fun of within the Camarera in the group, because like, I think it is Birch. Is it Birch? Correct me if I'm wrong. But one of the blonde lady who I cannot forget, she's somebody who's doing PR and fundraising for the group, because even terrorist groups have to have marketing. And they kind of, she kind of talks down to him and talks about how the Vice President Silver's really the one that did everything and brought everybody here and is basically progressing the cause. While what the hell are you doing? You're doing nothing. You're a failure. So there's already some kind of tension within the group itself. So I wonder how that's going to play out, because I feel like it's going to play out at some point. But I don't know. I feel like things are getting real. Like I said, they're getting more tech. They're progressing more in their plans. And what's so messed up is because Silver's the vice president, and we don't know where President Wade's loyalty is going to lie, because again, Alder did take over her mind and she's aware of it. And she's not really she was never really pro witch to begin with. Now, I don't know if she's on the Camarera side or if she's like somewhere in the middle, but we don't know to what lengths President Wade will be an ally to the witches. So Petra has a lot on her plate, because she has to follow protocols. She has to follow the rules, and they are governed by the president and by the rules of the United States. So if they say they want to drill under the base, what reason is she going to give to deny it? So she has to let them do it. So it's so weird, and it's kind of messed up. So I'm really curious to see how they get around that, because politics are a mess in this universe. So I'm really curious to see how she's going to be able to block them from doing what is essentially a presidential order or a vice presidential order. I don't know, depending on if he convinces President Wade to do it, who knows? I mean, I don't know what side she's on. If I knew what side President Wade swayed more towards, then I'd feel more comfortable in saying that she'd be able to protect them, at least for a little while. But I don't. And I kind of feel like Silver's objective is to overthrow Wade to begin with. I don't feel like Wade is going to be the president. So it's all a mess. It is all a mess. And I'm not sure how well she's recovered, because she was not doing well last season, by the end of the last season. So yeah, it is definitely going to be a thing. So Petra has a lot on her plate. A lot. On top of that, so they kind of went back and forth between the girls and the base. And of course, we got little glimpses of the Camarera and all that. But like they had like this anomaly. There's like this anomaly. So like they're supposed to, I guess there was like dark clouds or whatever forming over the base. Now, I don't know if they're saying it's just over the base or if it was like literally everywhere. I actually don't know. I'm gonna be real with you. I don't know how much this stuff stretched, but Petra was like, oh, I need to let off some steam. So I'll just go up there and, I'll take care of the problem. Well, at the same time, there's a plague inoculation. So it's almost like, honestly, I was looking at this. I'm like, oh, it's like the COVID vaccine. Everybody's getting the virus. The virus is out there. We got to get inoculated. But I guess Petra never got around to doing it because while the witches were being inoculated, I think she got inoculated and they were actually going to the first, the next witch or whatever. The skies opened up and plague started raining down on the base. No idea why, no idea like what the hell that's about, because Penelope has exploded. So I don't know what is happening with that. I don't know if this is another Camarera tech thing that we don't understand, because they like I said, they've got gadgets, they've got things, they got the tech. I don't know what in the hell that's about, but I do know that it is not good. So that is a thing. That is an absolute thing. And I don't know where we're going with that, to be honest with you. So let's go back to our Dodgers. So the Dodgers, like, again, they're working at the paper factory. The girls are not really adjusting well, except for Scylla, because Scylla knows how to hide because she was a Dodger and she was Spree. And then we see another group come in, and they are, now I couldn't tell if they were also Spree, but they probably were, but they were definitely former Dodgers. And the Dodgers were, very weary. Like, some of them trusted the girls and felt like they believed them when they said they didn't kill Penelope and blah, blah, blah. And then the other ones were kind of like, every time you're here, you're putting us at risk. And so these new girls, the new group that came in were no exception. And one of them, and I forgot her name, obviously wasn't that important to me, but she was one of Scylla's former friends. And the way she implied, fuck buddy. And you can tell Raelle immediately disliked her immediately. It did not help that she wanted to talk to Scylla alone. So that was cool. I think I loved how she was talking and Abigail was kind of like in her face. And then she ended up eating Abigail's tomato. She's like, that bitch ate my tomato. I was like, that whole scene to me was funny. But long story short, everybody's still trying to convince the girls to use Spree, works and change their face. And, it's something that's stressing Abigail out because, again, it's going against everything she believes in. It's really hard. Even Tally's like kind of changing a little bit because of Nicte. But I mean, again, I think it's because there's something going on with them. That's just me. I think Tally's got a crush, honestly. And even down to when Tally was sparring with Nicte, she's like, would you have recruited me into the Spree? And Nicte's like, no, not at all. And then Tally was like offended by it. And I'm like, you're talking about the Spree, So that whole situation was weird. But long story short, because Nicte was training Tally and Tally kind of went too far, she went really hard. She almost fell off the building, and then this guy saw her almost fall, and Nicte pulled her up in time, but he called the police. And so the police show up along with the cop that probably is Camarera. No doubt is. And he had that device. And Scylla was able to mask herself and change herself into a woman. And that was able to give a tour. I don't think that was the same woman, even though they're both redheads. Because I remember in the pilot episode when she killed those people, she had red hair. I don't know if this was the same girl or not. It could have been, but it's the same body. But she was like this bubbly redhead that kept trying to get them to have coffee. And the cops were like, some of their time, really playing it off. But the cop that had the tech, he started going around and looking on his own. And he found the bulletin board and he aimed the device at it. And it was able to see through the wall and see that there were beds and stuff where Dodgers were sleeping. So essentially, they are now compromised. And that means that they have to shut down shop and find somewhere else to live. And Tiffany was upset, the little girl that Scylla saved in season 2, because she's basically tired of running. She never asked to be a Dodger. And I mean, I got to see it from her perspective. Scylla's parents chose to be Dodgers, and they took Scylla along. Tiffany's parents tried to, or at least father, tried to kill her, like sent her to be killed and sacrificed. So she had no choice but to be a Dodger. And she doesn't like it, and she's mad. And she liked the place because there was a kitchen, a bath, there were bathrooms, she had a bed, she had friends. And because of Tally, technically, all that's gone. And Scylla was kind of hard on Tally. She's like, and I'm telling you, whenever Scylla's hard on somebody, I can't help it. I'm like, girl, please. Like 1601. Okay. You need to just be quiet. But basically Tally felt like crap. An earlier conversation between Scylla and Tiffany does talk about Scylla being the spree and how other people told her not to talk to her. Like kids are like, don't talk to her because she's evil. And that she only takes the face of people that she's killed, which I don't think is true. I think she can take the face of people that she's just been around, because we've seen her do that. But there is some truth that some of the people she has done is probably people that she's killed. But Scylla was like, people need to mind their own business. And I'm like, no, actually, you killed 1,601 people. So, I mean, just be transparent about it. I think I'd have more respect for this whole situation if Scylla was like, so Raelle, I kind of killed everybody at, conscription day that were like celebrating. Yeah, I made them all jump to their deaths, including a young girl who was looking at me while I was holding a balloon. Still love me? Like... I just really want it to happen. If she said all that and then Raelle was like, I forgive you, obviously Raelle's touching the head, but I'd have to basically, accept it. But because that is not happening and people are just like acting like it's not happening. I don't even know if Abigail and Tally even know that she's the initial one in the damn pilot episode that had all those people kill themselves, made them all die and jump to their deaths. I think Anacostia is the only one that knew besides Alder. She has not said anything. So she's building up all of these relationships and trust. But for me, it's still based on a lie because you were not 100% transparent. They only know that you were in the spree and you've done things. I just don't like that. I think that is for me, writing wise, it's a cop out. I just don't like shit like that. Especially since we know in the world we live in right now with all the gun violence and terrorist attacks and crap like that is just, to me, in poor taste to romanticize terrorism. I can't help it. It's just who I am. It's just who I am. And this is not just for Motherland, Fort Salem, before people come at me, because I know they will. I'm like this in anime, manga, whatever. I don't support that shit on any level. On any level. So it's a thing. And yes, I just wish that they would deal with that, especially since this is the last season. So just throwing that out there. That's my own thing. But I did like that Tiffany did call Scylla out a little bit on that because nobody else is. So it's just what it is. But yeah, they're going to the session. Now, I have a problem with them going to the session because I know Dodgers go there, but I thought that they would not want them to come anywhere near there because that's probably the first place they would effing look because Raelle's from there. I'm like, so I'm confused. Now I know that I'm pretty sure the session is really big, but like, I'm just concerned. I mean, if you're found somewhere, it says somewhere in the Midwest, how are you not going to be found in the session when you've already kidnapped Raelle from said session last season to torture her? So I don't know. I just feel like there's a thing going on that I'm not aware of. It's like people aren't thinking. And I mean, to be fair, they're not, because only Nicte and Scylla really know what's happening in terms of running. And the other ones are just ignorant as hell. They don't know what the hell they're doing. Like, let's just go home. Okay, cool. My small call out and nitpick. On the roof, when Tally was training with Nicte and Nicte was telling her how to use her, basically her ability to see the future, her foreboding ability, premonition ability. Nicte says, in 30 seconds, a bird's going to shit on your head. So she's standing there, she's like doing all this, and we see that she's actually making progress with seeing the future. And then she stops, and then Lord and behold, a bird shits on her head. How? Now just hear me out. 2 scenes maybe later, She is sitting at the table with Abigail, trying to ask Abigail if she wants to use the spree work to change her face. She had on that same damn hat. When did she have time to wash and dry that hat? There was no bird poop on that hat anymore. Do they have a work that removes bird shit? That's all I want to know, because that to me was that right there was a little bit of a F up in continuity. I'm just putting it out there. That should have had bird shit right on that hat, and it was not. You know, I'm a nitpick. I can't help myself. I have to do it. It's just like with Adil and Abigail. I mean, the fact that Adil kept walking towards this cop who was actively checking for witchcraft for the work. You're actively it would be like me seeing Jason Voorhees and just walking to him and saying, is he really chopping people up with that axe? I mean, it's just like, what is wrong? Like, why are you this? So it's a thing. I had to say it. I don't understand why they were stupid. I'm like, I don't. Another thing I gotta say, these girls ran away with nothing. These girls' makeup are on point. Abigail's hair is on point. Hell, Rael and Scylla are in bed having sex with makeup on point. When do they have time to do this? In the paper factory, sleeping on cots. I don't get it. I'm just throwing it out there. Makeup's on point. They do not look like they are running, like they are run down, like they haven't seen a comb or a brush. They look like they just stepped out of a damn salon, like at Ulta. Like, so I just had to do it. I had to do it. Just had to do it. There's a lot. I will say another cute scene that I really enjoyed in this episode was Adil and Abigail flirting with each other. I think I forgot. I think he said his name was Wade and her name was Shelby or something like that, and they were flirting. But then Adil basically says that he wants to start a family with Abigail. And remember, there was a huge, like, I won't say prophecy, but the Camarera are definitely in fear of these two combining their works. A Tarim and a witch, a powerful witch, especially, you know, she's a blaster. So they are very, very scared about them getting together. And Petra tells Abigail that and I'll talk about that in a second. But I'm beginning to think it's their baby, because in the trailer you do see that Abigail and Adil are getting married, and it looks like, I think this is happening. I think that Scylla and Rael are also, it's like a joint wedding. So I think that is happening. And that means that there's going to be a little baby, and that baby is basically going to be OP as hell. And I'm completely okay with it, but I want to know more. I also would love it for it not to just be their offspring who really can't be beneficial for 12 to 18 years. I would love it to be their powers combined too, or like a force to be reckoned with. Because Abigail is effing strong, and we've seen all of the stuff that Adil can do. I mean, he's still got that whole invisibility bubble and crap, which is really cool. Which I don't know, why didn't them... Now I'm thinking about this may not be a nitpick or a plot hole. It's just generally a question. The officer came near them with that little device. So was Adil's invisible bubble so powerful that it can't even be detected, even though it's work by that machine? So that's interesting, because he really did actually come up there and he did point it in that direction. So just a question. That's my question mark for you guys. What's happening there? But no, I just feel like with all the stuff that they can do, I really feel like those two combining abilities would be OP as hell. So maybe it's not just their baby, which I'm thinking they are talking about them having a baby. Because, I mean, he kept bringing it up. He brought it up saying that he wanted to basically start. He said start a family. And she said, are you serious? Are you talking to him, as Wade, or is this a deal? And he said, well, what would you say? And I don't think it was Wade. I forgot what name he used. It's not Wade. I'm just throwing it out there. But, and she's kind of like, before they can answer, the alarm went off, and of course the cops were showing up. But like, I'm just very curious. I'm very, very curious on what that actually means, because I really want it to be like them together or OP. Because even if you look at season 2, when they infiltrated one of the Camarera places that was holding Rael and had kidnapped the kids, they were OP together. Like the stuff they were doing wasn't right. Like, it was not right. So I don't know. I kind of feel like this could be like a thing. I don't know. That's just me. Now let's talk about Kalita. Kalita is cool. Kalita was teaching the kids back, at the paper factory, mother tongue. But I will tell you why I love this character. This character is not scared of anybody. When they were on the bus and Nicte was talking crap, she's like, Kalita's like, just drive and shut up. I was like, and Nicte didn't say anything. And I'm like, this character is like, I give 0 F's. That little girl, if there is one character that I am not worried about surviving the end of this series, that is Kalita. Now, I could be made a liar, but that girl right there, Kalita's like, you don't want this? I'm like, I will sing you a song that will eat you from the inside. Just be quiet. Just sit down and shut up. So it's a thing. It is a thing. I'm very curious to see what her role is going to be, because she does do a lot in the trailer. Like I said, the trailer is there's a lot of action, but I feel like it leaves a lot out on purpose to be excited about. Because a whole Nicte versus Alder fight would be very on point. I don't know if it's going to come to that, because again, they have a bigger threat and they need to work together, but I'm curious to see how this plays out. And like I said, with Alder's powers, I feel like her powers are upgraded. She's poison ivy right now. I don't know. Poison mushroom ivy. I don't know. Poison mushroom. I like that. But I'm really curious to see what happens with that. And I want to know what happens with everybody, because everybody, I mean, for the most part, everybody is doing their thing, and some of them are doing it well and some of them are not. I'm glad Anacostia is taking a more leadership role, because she does work very well with Petra. And I love the scene where she's looking at, Anacostia is looking at Alder's picture, and she's like, I miss her. And then she says, like, basically, Petra's like, I miss her too. She said, is that shocking? And then Anacostia's like, no. She said, I think it was time for her to basically move on, but not that way. So she didn't want Alder to die, was what Petra was saying. So there is still a respect that Petra does have for Alder. She's just very ambitious and wanted her job. That's basically what I wanted, her job. I didn't want her to die. So I love that they had that conversation. So that is a thing. Yeah, for the most part, the way the episode left off, Alder is back. Which we knew this is not a spoiler. And then we have, of course, the girls on the run again in their magical driving school bus, because everybody has to have a school bus. They need to have the one from Charm. Every time I watch this show, especially this season, I kept thinking, this is what I needed the sisterhood to be like, because I don't know if you guys caught this. This is not another Rayla slam, but you ever notice that when one of the girls is upset, like when Tylee was upset, Raelle left Scylla to go be with her sisters? And that's something that we never got in seasons 2 and 3 of Charmed. So it was we abandoned the love interest to go with the sisters. And that's what she did it twice in the show. So it does show you that Rayla she's got her sisters back. She does love Scylla, but she's got her sisters back. Just like when Scylla was kind of harsh on Tylee, and Raelle was like, hey, pretty much calm down a little bit. And then when Tylee was like being self-deprecating about it, and Raelle came over to comfort her, yeah, that sister, the bond they have, OP. I love it. I absolutely love it. It's literally bros before hoes, or sisters before bitches, basically. So I like it. I'm not gonna lie. But now they're on the run, going to the session, and poor little Tiffany went off with Mac. Pretty much Mac is now a bridge that was burned accidentally because of Tylee. Obviously Tylee didn't do it on purpose. She's just stupid. And so Scylla lost that kind of connection. But again, I don't know if Mac was just a dodger or if he was actually spree. So I mean, it's interesting. It's actually interesting. But yeah, so we have them going off to the session, and finally the way Abigail was able to reach her mother was she had to use a freaking spree work, and that was the mirror. Remember we saw Scylla use the mirror with the balloon. She was able to communicate with, we know now was actually Raelle's mother, but at the time the spree leader or whatever. So basically Abigail learned how to do that from Scylla. She taught her how to communicate with her mother through the mirror. And I'm just really grateful that Petra was by a mirror, because they did it at a gas station. So that played out very well. I don't know who was knocking on the door like that when Abigail was trying to talk. I'm like, that's rude as fuck. I'm like, if I'm taking a dump, you gonna wait. I'm like, you will wait. She's not me. I'm like, my mom, I'm like, I'm shitting. I'm like, wait your turn. Sorry, I was in my feelings. I hate when people are that rude, especially at a gas station. Wow, if I have to use a bathroom at a gas station, which is very rare, I don't like doing that at all. And you knock on my door, you gonna get it. So, props to Abigail for not losing her shit, because I would have been like, if you don't stop knocking on my door, you're gonna be flushed in the toilet with this poop I'm trying to get out. So, it is a thing, but that's me. But she was able to communicate, and of course. It's so interesting because Abigail last season was all like, my mother wants to marry me off. My mother wants, she's trying to rule my life. And now she's like, Mom, I don't know what to do. Teach me. Tell me what to do, Mom. And I think it's funny as hell that she very much is lost without her mother telling her what to do. So it's kind of like a hypocritical situation, but that's just me. So. Okay. I don't think I missed anything, guys. So now I'm gonna look at your comments. Again, I'm very happy. I'm gonna take a swig of this water because I am not 100% yet. This COVID is no joke at all. Mm-mm. 1 minute you feel okay, next minute you feel like shit. That's basically what happens. I will say though, with my COVID journey, guys, they put me on an antiviral, and it is an antiviral that is relatively new, and they don't know all the side effects for. So if I grow horns or have mutant abilities, which would be cool, by the way, then you know what happened. Now, if I get on a commercial where it says, have you or someone you know taken blah, 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 I'm going to be in my feelings. I'm going to put it out there because it has kept my symptoms like pretty minor, but I'm always like, what's going to happen down the line? So yeah, your girl's not happy. I'm not happy about this whole situation. It is a thing. Okay, so let me move up because I do see your comments. And sorry, my voice might be going in and out because it's still not 100% either. So it is a thing. So Nicholas said, I'll try my best to make it, but if not, just let my coven know that I'm currently working with the Dodgers at work, gathering intel and hopefully better results than what's happening at Fort Salem. Wow. Because that ish with Penelope was terrifying, literally straight out of a horror movie. It was. That I will give props to the makeup department of Motherland, Fort Salem. That it was terrifying and effing disgusting. So they did a great job with that. That Black Plague, the Black Plague, Mama Mushroom, all of it creeps me the hell out, and it triggers my like itchiness problem that I have with things that are like, I don't know how to explain it. There actually is a name for it. I know it. I just don't. I have COVID brain, so I can't tell you what it is right now. Let's see. Hello, Chastin. How are you? How can I watch the show? So it airs on Freeform. So if you can get the Freeform app, you may be able to see it next day. And also it's on Hulu. So if you have Hulu, you can watch it next day. So those are your best bets. I don't think anybody's uploading it to YouTube because they're probably like scared of copyright claims. So that is a thing. It is good to be back. These guys suck at witchness protection. I mean, to be fair, in the Charm universe, they suck at witchness protection too. So, I mean, I get you. But yeah, it is a thing. Hello, Dee Dee. Welcome back. What's going on with Alder? So Alder died, and then she came back, and now she's poison mushroom. That's basically all I got right now. I'm ready to see how they explain the marriage union between Abigail and Adil and how powerful they are together. Yeah, I'm loving it. And I didn't think they were going to do it right off the bat, but the fact that they actually mentioned it in this episode, the first episode of season 3, means that's going to play out a lot probably this season. So maybe we'll see a little baby. Can the others learn that future sight ability too? I don't think so. I think you have to be prone to it. Like, I don't think everybody can heal. I don't think everybody can control storms. So yeah. Thank you, Cheston. It's good to see you too. Hi, Maria. I've missed you a lot. I've missed you too. I hope Adler can redeem. Oh, Alder, sorry, can redeem herself and work with the president against this bigger threat with the vice president. Well, the vice president is definitely the bigger threat, and I mean, for you to be able to do that to your child, that is so effed up. That is so effed up. I was like, poor Penelope. She just wanted to be a good witch and serve in the military. And what did your dad do? Your dad just like injected you with Black Plague. I mean, just horrible dad. They were collecting remnants of the plague. The plague is kind of like a symbiotic organism, and since Penelope was sort of the source for it, maybe she was able to live the remaining bit off the plague. That would be interesting if she's alive, because they exploded her, so that would be very interesting. If she's like, I mean, she could be like Venom, where it just like puts the body pieces back together. I don't know. That's still that's also OP if that's what that is. Hello, Kevin. How are you? I have a question. So in trailer, there was a lot of talk of the autonomy of the witches is under review, but to me, they are almost pretty much indentured servants to the government. What autonomy? I mean, to be fair, we are all slaves to the government. You don't believe me? Skip out on your taxes. See what happens. Like, but no, I get what you're saying. For me, I just need to know more about the origin in general, because I don't believe that there was ever a time where they were always indentured servants. Obviously, we saw a preview or a clip from like hundreds of thousands of years ago with these women. So I need to know. It's not lost on me that there are a lot of African and indigenous looking tribes that were there. So and they all walk their separate ways. I just really want to know what the hell that is, because honestly, for me, that was like the perfect moment of the origin of the Charm ones from the Charm universe. So I don't know. I think they'll break down more. We're only one episode in, so we'll see what happens in the next episode. I mean, I know they don't have a lot to play with, but they are supposed to go more into the origin story, so maybe we'll learn more then. Someone recently released a video about Jewish characters in Marvel and how they don't really depict in the movies, and then I realized that I forgot Scarlet Witch is too. Oh, yeah. That's okay. I got called out in a comment today on my Chinese... first Chinese Black Widow, Monica, because I didn't know she was Muslim. And see, this is my own ignorance, guys. You're talking to somebody who, because I had a grandfather who was indigenous and a grandmother who was Southern Baptist, but then I had a Scottish mother who was Catholic and Protestant. I never had a religion growing up because they didn't know what to have us be. So whenever I think of Muslim, I think religion. I don't think ethnicity. So if somebody was like, oh, well, something along the lines of you forgot that she's Muslim, I guess it doesn't matter to you. And I'm like, how are you going to say that? When I just generally, I'm thinking ethnicity. I said Chinese American. And so I guess that's a question mark for me, because I've been hearing a lot. I know with Moon Knight, it brought a lot of shade about, the character being Jewish, but not really being Jewish, and or the actor not really being Jewish. Or I guess he was Jewish and then decided not to be. I don't know the story, because I don't care about the actors' lives. But I want to know, if you are Muslim, is that your ethnicity? Because I was under the impression that that was your religion. And as I pointed out in the comment that I responded, because it was kind of irritating, I never said anything about White Fox being Buddhist, because she did practice Taoist Buddhism in the comics at one point. I did not say the fact that, Dr. Midnight, originally in the comics, her father was a Southern Baptist preacher and she had multiple brothers. And so she was raised Southern Baptist. The religion never came into play because I was talking about ethnicity. So just something I had a question about, because that's interesting. And again, this is coming from an ignorant place. I don't know a lot about, Muslim culture, because I'm not Muslim. I don't know a lot about Southern Baptist culture because I'm not Southern Baptist. I don't know a lot about anybody's culture unless it's mine, because it's not mine. I'm interested. I want to learn, but I'm ignorant, and I am big enough and woman enough to say that I am. So what it is. But yeah, Scarlet Witch definitely, if I remember correctly, had to be Jewish, because Magneto was their father and he was in a concentration camp. So her and Quicksilver were definitely Muslim. I mean, not Muslim, sorry, Jewish. Hi, Marie. My first thought with this season starts with, why was it canceled? Freeform and genre TV don't go together. I'd be happy if Hulu picks this up for more seasons. I thought the same thing with Shadowhunters. I love Shadowhunters. I like how they did it. It was not accurate to the book 100%, obviously, but it was pretty good. I liked it. I don't know why Freeform gets these shows that are very good. It gives them a few seasons and cancel it. And then they have other shows that nobody gives five shits about. They go on and on and on and on and on. I don't know why. Maybe they're more expensive to produce. That's the only thing I can think of. Freeform did pretty well with the Shadowhunters. Yep, they did. Ava Maria, love how spot these things. Hey, it's true. That bird shit on her hat, and then she went and had lunch with that same hat on. No bird shit. I'm just curious. Somebody needs to tell me about that bird poop. Bird poop remover, buy it at Walmart for witches. I mean, if they have a Walmart in this universe. The paper factory was a good setup, which means it wouldn't last. Yep. I agree with you, Kevin. I feel like whenever you got a good thing, they're like, nah, can't do it. Can't do it. Do you think Abigail's mom has the mental and ethical fortitude to handle all these bad to worse decisions that she will have to make to survive like Alder could? How heavy sits the crown? She's going to learn. Ambition comes with a price. That is something that I don't think her mom taught her. Petra's mother kept pushing her to be better, to be more respectable, more powerful, have more clout. Now that she has it, what do you do? Now, Petra's a good leader, though. I think that she is a good leader. But I think she's going to see what Alder did the stuff that she did. And she's going to start doing, because I mean, obviously she's seeing it now with her own daughter. She's covering, she's a bait. She's enabling and abetting a person who is literally, she has a warrant. Her daughter is on the run from being arrested. So she's already seeing it. You're already seeing where it's taking on her right now. And just wait till they start trying to dig under the base. That's when you're really going to see it, I think. Apparently, they must have picked up some makeup at one of the stores while they were on the run. With what money? They can't use debit cards or credit cards. I mean, I don't think they were running around with cash. They didn't have time. So where are they getting the money for said makeup? I don't know if you've ever purchased makeup in the store, even over the counter. That shit's expensive. And all of them have it. And they don't just have foundation, Dollar Tree palette. They got it all. Even if they went with LA, with LA looks, which is some of the cheapest shit you can get, even from you can get that stuff in the Dollar Tree. With what money? Like, what money? So, yeah, I got questions, guys. Don't make me go down the Charmed route with this one, too, or a CW route where you don't need money. You just get things and you just believe it happens. You just believe that it's going to happen. Even Rael's hair was on point. Somebody curled her hair with what curling iron? Like, guys, maybe there's a seed that witches use for hair and makeup. Oh, Lord. What seed? You know what? I'm laughing. That could be true. That could be true. Abigail had like 3 love interests last season. Abigail's had love interests every season. Even in the first one, she was sleeping with some guy before she even took before they were conscripted. Remember? She had a boyfriend that she dumped right before, after she slept with him. So that's a thing. Maria, the one with Abigail you're talking about is the guy and with the sister, the ones that were on the train during the attack. I need to catch up. Haven't seen the episode yet. Yeah, Adil is her boyfriend. I mean, they're pretty much a couple. But they were pretending to be other people. Like they were role playing, basically. And her name was Shelby, and I forgot what he said his name was. And it was very cute. It was a cute scene. But then he's like talking about, we could start a family. I'm like, damn. She's like, wait, what? I look at her face like, wait, say what? Why is everybody trying to use my womb? Damn. Like, Abby the pimp, 100%. Hi, hope you're well. I'm hanging in there, girl. I'm hanging in there. I think the Camarera can only make their work and gadgets from the work of actual witches. I don't think they've been able to twist the trim work like that, or Tareem's work like that, like they do for Salem. They probably don't know all the seeds, because I remember the Tareem have like seeds that nobody really knows and everybody seems to want. So that's why Kalia can sit there and talk the way she does, because she knows she's a badass. That's what it is. Not poison mushroom ivy. I like it. I mean, she's poison mushroom. That's what it is. It's what she is. I think Anacostia and Petra and Alder would be the dream leadership to balance each other. I agree with that. I do. Yes to sisterly bonding. I mean, it's true. These girls have each other's back now. I love it. I want to know why, of all people, did Alder decide to sprout up out of the ground to the random witch guy? Maybe it was not the random guy. I mean, his seed probably attracted her because he was doing that. But I think they were in Basque country or something like that. Maybe it was basically location where she was in the mushroom process. Maybe she was like traveling along as she was healing. I don't know. That's a good question. Is she recruiting various witches? Probably. Probably. I was happy that Abby and her mom could speak to each other. Me too. Because Abby needs to talk to her mother, because she completely 180 from last season, where she's like, I need my mom. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm confused. I'm on the run. Help me. Just watch Motherland for Salem. I liked it. Can't wait to see what General Alder is going to be up to. All in all, I gave this episode 8 out of 10. Those stories have holes. It's okay. It's a TV show. Oh yeah, they have holes. Like I said, I 100% expect to be creamed, destroyed, and hated on because of what I said about Scylla. And I'm never going to stop saying it because it's true. So I know that there are people that get in their feelings and, you know, they think these people are real and they want to attack you because of the imaginary connection they form with these people. But at the end of the day, you can get passionate about your characters. I mean, I get passionate about characters, but then when I stop talking about them, I don't give a shit because they're not real. So it is a thing. So it is what it is. So yeah, I get it. And I would say 8 out of 10 is a really good score, actually. It took the end of the world for Mel to use her sisters over new love interest, Roxy, of 2 seconds, but knew which Kayla and Deb did the right thing every time, resulting in his death because Kayla was with her sisters during the big battle. Yeah, now Kayla was kind of dicky to him, though, for a little while. I got to throw my girl under the bus. He wanted a relationship, and she was treating him like shit for a little bit. But at the end of the day, right when they were getting stuff right, he died because that's what happens in these damn shows, unfortunately. Abigail is way outside of her comfort zone, 1,000,000,000%. She does not know what's happening right now. I feel so bad for her. I'm glad Abigail finally got a highlight in talent because the other two really started to shine with these extraordinary, powerful special abilities. I was very worried they were going to do her dirty. Me too. But then I thought she actually is the Black representation of this sisterhood. So you got one Black girl and 3 white girls on the run together. And then a woman who could be Native or something. I really don't know what Nicte is supposed to be. But of the core group, she's the token. So if they don't do that with the token and give her some shit, then Elliot gonna have a problem. So hashtag BLM. Maria, you got COVID. Oh no, be very careful and observant of your body. Go to the hospital if something doesn't feel right. Watch your breathing, most important. Yes, I got COVID 2 days after my dad died. So my dad died on June 10th. I was diagnosed on the 12th. Here it is now, the 22nd. I've been on an antiviral since the 12th. I don't feel bad. I'm not 100%. I never had problems breathing in my chest, but I have, like, it feels like I have congestion in my throat sometimes, and I get this cough sometimes. But I have not had a fever since the 13th. And I haven't had my dizzy spells. I am more tired, I will tell you that. When I walk around, it's like walking from the kitchen to the living room sometimes feels like I ran a marathon. And COVID is no joke. But for the most part, I'm doing really well. I got COVID from my brother, my beautiful special needs brother, because he wasn't living with me. And when my dad went into hospice, I had to bring my brother into the house. And I did not realize that he had come into contact with somebody who had COVID, because the only time we don't wear a mask is when we're in our house around each other, because we've been in a COVID bubble since 2019. So yeah, my brother came in and got us all in one swoop. The entire house, my daughter, River, my brother, and me all had COVID. I think even my dog has it, honestly. So that is a thing. But thank you for that. I know it is not a nice disease, or virus, should I say. Not nice. Charmed in witness protection was a fall without elders and white lighters to shepherd the witches through, and who is departing the marbles with the elders gone. So me and Kenny are going to do a Charmed, what should have happened in season 5, and then my perspective on what happened in the series finale video. We are actually talking about this currently. So it's either going to happen later today with a surprise stream, or I'm probably going to schedule it for tomorrow. We'll see. But it is happening because I have a lot to say, because I noticed some stuff in the series finale that I thought was very interesting, and some things characters did that were very repetitive, even back to like season 2. So I had to call them out on it. But yeah, so we will definitely we are not done talking about Charmed yet. So I have not done my review of the series finale, which I just watched, by the way. So it's a thing. Alder sold the witches out to the government as basic weapons to stave off witch hunts and hangings. Yeah, she was desperate. Me too, Maria. Multi-racial, multi-ethnic, and multi-religious families. We like the UN. Laugh out loud. I'm telling you. It's a thing. It is a thing. No, it's a religion. That's what I thought, that being a Muslim was a religion. So I don't know why people come at you. Like, it's so weird. It's like, why are you getting upset because I said this character was the first Chinese American Black Widow when I said ethnicity? I never said I'm making a stream based on religion. That's not something I ever claimed. But people just, I feel like some people have to be butthurt about something or they don't have anything else in their lives. So that's what that's about. You know, it is what it is, I guess. I didn't know Ben Grimm was Jewish until I saw that video. Yeah, I'm sure there are a lot. I don't think they really stress religion a lot. I mean, yeah, Miss Marvel, they do. But they don't stress like religion a lot in comic books, because even though comic books have always been political, there's some things they don't think about. They'd rather play with race than they ever would with religion. So when you get somebody like Moon Knight who's Jewish, or you get a character that's Muslim like Miss Marvel, that is something they're going to stress. But let's be clear, they say she's a brown girl first from New Jersey. So it's interesting. It's interesting. I had to go to the mosque a lot with family, and once had it ever came up as ethnicity. It's the most populous religion in the globe. It's not the same as the Jewish thing. Yeah, like I said, I have questions. Now, there are like 3 major sects with vastly different perspectives in Islam, and that's a point of contention that still plays out in the Middle East right now. You see it with Saudi and Iran. Okay, so in my 23andMe, I have like 3% Pakistani. I have 1% Middle Eastern, but it doesn't say what I am. And then I have like 12% Bengali. So I'm like, and then what's so interesting is that my daughter took a 23andMe and linked it to me, and she ended up getting like 0.1% Bengali, or 1% Bengali, sorry. But none of my indigenous, which my grandfather was full indigenous, and she got none of it for me. It's interesting how your genetics work. I just thought that was interesting. Yeah. This is why you see. This is why you need Alder to puppeteer people to take the VP out. I mean, yep, yep. Maria, they're witches and have magic. They can make money. Haven't you seen Team Witch? And you saw the consequences with Team Witch too. They probably stole the makeup. It'd be easier for them to do it. I will definitely subscribe to them going in and ripping it off. But to be fair, just hear me out, okay? They are wanted. They have not changed their faces. So why would you risk walking into Walgreens to steal makeup? You know what I mean? I don't know. I just think that's interesting. Prosperity and money spells is a thing. Yeah, I just think they didn't think it out in production. They were like, we got to make these girls hot because nobody's going to want. This is the last season. They can't be walking around toe up. That's basically what they did. Petra does not have what it takes to be general. Enough of this nonsense. She's a follower, not a leader. I think she is a leader. I just think she's not the leader that Alder was. It just depends. Like I said, I would love for them to show Petra and them when they were younger. I would love to see her, Willow, all of them when they were younger, because I think we'd have a different perspective of Petra. And let's be clear. Petra was the bane and thorn in Abigail's side. And Petra's mother is a bane and thorn in hers. And you saw her mother. Her mother is no joke. Her mother was much harder on Petra than Petra ever was on Abigail. So raised by somebody like that, you know, you do tend to be more ambitious. But she's good. And I like to say she ran the spy network, you know, the security for a long time. So she does know her shit. So I do like Petra for that. Why doesn't Abigail and her family just harvest, you know, her eggs and do it that way instead of trying to breed her? I don't know. You know, I don't know. They love her womb. I don't know what, maybe it's not the eggs. Maybe it's just physically her womb. I have no idea, but it's weird. May your father rest in peace. Thank you. I did not have a great relationship with my father, but I do have mixed feelings over him being dead. And it's led to a lot of other stresses that I have to deal with on top of having COVID. So it's been very challenging, but thank you. Miss Marvel has been so awesome to see a Muslim hero. It feels really good. I don't identify as Muslim as an adult, but it feels good to see, to see it for family purposes. I'm enjoying it. I'm actually planning on doing an overview of the first 3 episodes. I know the newest one came on today and we're going to watch it. I just caught up. I just saw the last 2 episodes of River the other day. So we are behind. And that is a thing. So bear with us. We did watch a show on Netflix. What was it called? First Kill, I think, which is a vampire. It's a monster hunter vampire lesbian love story type trope, which I did see, and I probably should talk about. I have lukewarm feelings about this show, so if you like it, it is what it is. But I didn't hate it. I did watch the whole thing, but I have some thoughts. So that is a thing. Are you having live reactions to First Kill? That's so funny that you just talked about this show and I just mentioned it. Not live reactions. I probably will have a live stream about First Kill. If I do, it'll probably be sometime this weekend. So, but I did see all, I think it's 8, 9 episodes or whatever, or 10 episodes, I believe it was. Representation does mean something. Miles Morales is a game changer for me. Yeah, he's Afro-Latino. I just wish that people would let him know he's mixed. I'd be happy for that. Are you going to react to Miss Marvel? Yes, I am definitely going to review Miss Marvel. So I have a theory that on Miss Marvel, that bracelet is a Kree or inhuman artifact that gives basically a variation of their potential and human power after the Terragon Mist exposure. Because, see, I would like them to keep the Terragon Mist exposure and just do away with the whole bracelet gauntlet scenario. Because I understand that they did say, you know what, this is a spoiler. Nope, I'm not going to spoil Miss Marvel. That'll be my Miss Marvel review. The Umbrella Academy Season 3 came out today. I know. I saw the trailer. I hate that I'm sick and I'm dealing with a funeral and I'm dealing with something else. And also with getting my brother adjusted to living with us now, it's been very stressful, very hectic. I was already like hectic and stressed out before, especially with my own health. Now I have all of this other stuff on top of me. I haven't even planned. I'm planning the funeral now. I haven't even picked a day for the service. So like, there's just a lot. There's a lot. I'm trying to get a realistic schedule on the channel, because the next 2 to 3 weeks are going to be very, very stressful. So, yeah, I do want to watch the Umbrella Academy Season 3. I also have to watch the new episode of Miss Marvel tonight. That is something that I need to do. But I have to figure out when I'm going to be able to do the Umbrella Academy Season 3 review. So that's kind of where I'm at. So, yeah, bear with me. Okay, so First Kill, I watched it, and yes, lukewarm. It was supposed to be the Buffy inherent, and it is not. Yep. The Hunter is not supernatural. She's more akin to a Winchester than a Chosen One. I absolutely agree with that. And plus, I had a problem with the chemistry between the two girls, but that's just me. I just had a problem with it. But it is what it is. It is what it is. I will still talk about it. It's not a bad show. There were very good standout characters that I thought were interesting in said show. There were some things I thought they kind of rushed and would have been better if they had a season 2. But it is what it is. Speaking of season 2, I saw that We Are Dead, the Korean zombie TV show, got a season 2. So I'm very, very happy with that. So, your plate is full right now. I appreciate you taking the time. Thank you. I'm trying. I am trying. We are definitely going to schedule the Charmed review, because it's the series is gone. And so I need to talk about it. And what I'd like to have seen in season 5 would be very cool. So, where I would like to see this show going, because I wanted to do like a theory video, I would love to see Alder and Nicte have a SmackDown fight. I know we're going to have a wedding, but I would really like to have Tally hook up with someone, even if it's Nicte. I want my girl, who actually came into this series in season 1 a virgin, and basically explored love, had her heart broken, kind of teased around with love again with a character from last season that we have not seen yet. So I don't know if he's back this season. She got to have this like taste of what it is coming from a society of all women, what it's like to be in a relationship. And even if, I say that she could have been queer. So being like, in a society of just all women really doesn't matter if you're queer, but I don't think that she was attracted more to women. So having her have that outlet, just basically explore who she is or her sexuality, I thought was really cool. But I am starting to think that maybe Tally swings both ways, because I do think that there's something happening with Nicte, and I would love for them to explore that. I really want to know more about Silver and Wade, because I feel like they are the two that you really like. Wade's choices are really going to basically affect the overall story, I believe, this season, because she has the power to help or do a shit ton of damage, depending on which way her loyalties lie. So I'm very curious on which way Wade's going to go. I want to see my poison mushroom's new abilities. If you saw the trailer for next week, it looks like Raelle gets sucked into the mushroom. Like, I don't know if Alder's doing that, if Mother Mushroom is doing that. I don't know. My dream for that is that that's how you teleport. Like, you get sucked there and you pop out 100 miles away. It's creepy, it's nasty, but it's cool. Just say, I'm Maria, I'm coming, just woke up. We are almost done, man. What's wrong with you? It's all right. We're going to do our Charmed review together, Kenny. So if you guys are willing, I'll probably schedule that for, if I can, probably for later today. I got to see what Kenny's schedule is. So we might be able to do our Charm video later. So be on the lookout on my community tab if we're going to do it or not. If it's not today, it'll definitely be tomorrow, but just let me see how the rest of the day goes. But yeah, so more things about season 3. I want to see Anacostia finally be happy and have something outside of Fort Salem because she got a taste of it. I think that is cool. I am 100% down with Anacostia living her best life without basically having to be a Dodger, without her having to pick a side. I really want Anacostia to come into her own. Honestly, by the end of this series, Anacostia might be the general. We don't know. Petra might die. I mean, who knows what's going to happen? So I am curious to see how that plays out. But I want Anacostia to have her boo. I don't want her boyfriend to die. I'll be so upset if they kill her love interest. I'm very concerned about the scene in the trailer where Anacostia looks like she's in a cage fight without her seed. I don't know if that's true or not, if she's playing or if they actually capture her, which, God, for you to capture Anacostia, you have to be badass or sneaky as shit. But I really want her to shine because this is the last season and I love, Dimitri. So I need her to shine. Anacostia needs to shine. I do want to know more about the witches. I want to know more about the indigenous tribe that taught Alder how to use biddies. I want to know all of the things about this universe, especially since I heard a rumor that Elliot's trying to continue this universe in whether it be graphic novels or books, some form of books when the series ends, which, I'm cool. I'm here for that. I need them to have a sacrifice. I know that sounds bad, but I do. I need there to be someone that has to sacrifice because I feel like truly the best stories are when somebody does something on that level. More than likely it'll be Alder, but I don't want it to be any of our 3 girls. Everybody else is expendable to me. I'm sorry, guys. I love Adil. I don't have a hatred for Scylla, even though I told you my opinion on her. I just feel like all of them are expendable. I don't think Kalita's going anywhere. Kalita is just pretty badass, but I think everybody is expendable at this point. So something has to go down that makes you feel something, that makes you say, well, shit. Because if everybody's just happy, campy, Dory, which we do want, we always want that big happy ending for everybody. It's still not realistic. So there has to be a sacrifice. So I'm really curious to see who that's going to be and why. So that is something I'm looking forward to and not. Like, as long as it's not our 3 girls, I don't care. I'm hoping that this season does not split them up at the end. Because if Adil and Abigail get married and go off to start their family, and then Scylla and Raelle get married and go off to start their lives in the lighthouse with their library books, and then Tally hooks up with Nicte, they may split apart. And I don't know if I like that. I just envision them all living together forever. So, I mean, I know they have to have their own lives, but why? So I don't want that to happen. I don't want, as they say in Charmed, I don't want this to be the destruction of the sisterly bond, so I'm in my feelings for that. So we'll see. But yeah, that's where I'm at with Motherland, Fort Salem. I don't think I have anything else to say. 1 second. Make sure. Season 2, We Are Dead was awesome. I watched it like 4 times. Yep, they have a sequel. They've already posted that season 2 is coming. Kenny, once again, I know. So you are free. Cool. I know it's never been spoken of, but the Amazons, were they predominantly a queer culture? The Amazon, you mean Themyscirans? Yes. Amazonians in real life, probably. They don't have the same hangups and taboos that we have in society. So, can the Umbrella Academy take the Sparrows? It's like X-Men versus X-Force. I'm curious. I am looking forward to seeing the multiverse, because this is what's happening in this show. That is happening, and how Elliot Page is being written in again. Because I saw a little bit of Vanya, so I'm wondering if they're just going to do away with Vanya altogether. So it's interesting. I don't know. Okay, let's see. Did I forget anybody? If I did forget or I missed a comment, please post it below, because, again, COVID brain. And I'm going to take a little bit of a break because, yeah, COVID is tiring. So I will get with Kenny and we'll figure out if we're doing our charm stream tonight. I was going to have Eloy. I did ask his schedule, but he's doing a lot right now. So I don't know if I'm going to be able to get him and Kenny at this time, because I don't even think he watched. I really don't think that Eloy didn't even watch the last episode out of the series, I don't think, yet, which, to be fair, I just watched it. So that's a thing. Life has a way of just doing that, unfortunately. So it is a thing. But if I did not answer your question and I did not respond to something, or you just want to chew me out because of what I said about Rayla, because, I'm sure it's coming. I don't care, but I'm sure it's coming. Put in the comments below. It's fine. All right, guys, I love you. I'm going to go and rest and eat a snack or something. But if it is day for you guys, I want you to have a good day. If it is evening for you guys, have a very good evening. And be on the lookout for my next stream, which should be the Charmed series finale overview by me, because Kenny did a good job, but by me, and also where we thought season 5 should go. So yeah, that's what we're doing. All right, guys, love you. Have a good whatever time of day. Bye.